said that a journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. But where does that first step begin? My brother dropped me off in Campo, right on the border, just after noon on an Easter Sunday. The Pacific Crest Trail starts on the Mexican border and travels north all the way to Canada, some 2,650 miles away. The trail is mountainous and follows a spine in the center of California, moving from one mountain range to the next. The PCT takes between 5 and 6 months to complete, which is more time and energy than I had. I decided that 1,000 miles was a good number to shoot for, and that would take me roughly to Yosemite. It was an auspicious day, and I hoped that some part of me would be reborn along the way. The rate of attrition was very high in the first few days. Water was scarce. California was in a historically high drought year, and with the warmer than usual temperatures, it made conditions quite difficult. So this is day 3, just about to Mount Laguna. We're now in alpine territory, as you can see. It's cool, it's windy, which is nice. Not getting slammed by the heat or anything. There's plenty of water today, so not too hard of a day. All day climb though, but that's it. Hiking with a full backpack for the first time since I was a teenager took some time to get used to. Traveling through the desert in the springtime, it's really quite an extraordinary experience. You're seeing flowers that only come up for a few weeks of the year and then disappear. Cactuses bloom with incredible profusion of colors that light up even the most stark landscape. In the first few days, it's all about finding a rhythm, finding a pace that you can be comfortable with. Most of the time on the trail, you're spent looking at the trail in front of you to keep from stumbling on rocks. Getting hurt is easy if you lose focus, and the trail at times has sheer drops with breathtaking scenery, and you can only appreciate it when you stop. But when you do stop, it takes out a rhythm, so you have to find a balance of admiring beauty, taking photos, and doing miles. Finally out of the wind. It's been blowing like 60 knots. It's really something else, but this is a nice little bit of a break. It's hard work, but look at that scenery. It is something else. Morning, day 5, beautiful morning. Yesterday I did my first 20, it was actually 22. There was supposed to be a storm coming in and we wanted to try and beat it, but looks like it's not going to amount to much, so anyways, not much further ahead. But the scenery is really incredible, really beautiful. Hiking buddy has a longer stride, so he's always ahead of me. But that's okay. I'll stop to take photos and have a look. Off to Julian we go. Have a 0 day there. On the 5th day, I arrived at Scissors Crossing, which is the access point to get into Julian, which is the first resupply point. And it was here I encountered the first of many trail angels. And trail angels are wonderful. They're people who act selflessly, bringing food, water, drinks, snacks, chairs, whatever. Julian was the first resupply point, and it's also the village where my aunt lives, so it was nice being able to spend a couple days with her. She'd recently lost her husband and son in 24 hours in 2 separate incidents that left her reeling, and it was good to be with her.
Good morning, wherever you are in the world. Back on trail again. Done about 6 miles this morning, 6.5. Bit of dry country, but it's a beautiful day today. We really had to push to get into Julian to beat the storm, and kind of glad we did because it was cold and wet. We had a 0 day yesterday. Had a good friend of ours from Mammoth who came and paid us a visit. Spent the day with her and spent a couple nights with my Dia the Under, which was really great. Feel recharged and on our way to Warner Springs. Good morning. This is day 7. Gonna hit the 100-mile mark real soon. Beautiful day. Might be a bit warm. It was quite cool last night, but really nice. Saw my first blue jay yesterday. And off in the distance there was some rancheria music going. I don't know where it was, but I could hear it thumping. Gonna meet my brother at Eagle Rock. And then Sandy, I'm gonna meet at Warner Springs for a resupply and hopefully a shower.
One of the amazing things about being on this trail is the distances you can see. And you know that in a few days you're going to be past the horizon that you can see. It's hard to believe that mountains are so far away that within a few days you'll be up and over them. And when you look back, you realize how far you've gone. There's some places on the trail that you know are going to be difficult. There's certain mountain ranges that are harder than others, but there's certain ones that stand out that you read about, you see on the map, and you know that you're going to have to get through. And San Jacinto was the first one. It's where you really start to climb and get to the higher elevations in the 9,000 foot range, and where there's some serious drop-offs that you want to make sure you avoid. This particular stretch could be quite dangerous, and fortunately there wasn't much snow, which made it a bit easier, but there was a lot of deadfall. And deadfall just stops you in your tracks, and you've got to go around, over, or under, and it slows you up a lot. Traversing the spine of San Jacinto was difficult, mainly because there was no water. The fact that you were climbing all day long and then getting to where the next water supply was meant you had to go off trail for a mile or so and go back down to a spring. Idlewild was the next resupply point, and quite a nice little diversion. Very nice relaxing day spent just not walking. After a nice restful day, it was back on the trail and a 9-mile climb straight back up to get to the trail, and about 3,000 vertical feet of climb. And it was here where good sections of the trail were still covered in snow.
This scenery is absolutely stunning. So much to see. It's constantly changing. We've just gone through a fair bit of snow. There's more snow here, but it's kind of, the most of it's gone. We're about another mile from our lunch break, but today's been a very beautiful day.
At the end of San Jacinto, there is a long, waterless stretch of switchbacks that's about 12 miles long that take you back down into the desert. And it's also here where you have to start looking out for snakes once again.
Can you please leave the trail?
One of the beautiful things about through hiking is that eventually you're going to meet people. You're going to meet people from all different countries, all different ages, all different sizes, all different personalities. Most days are spent walking alone. You can be alone for hours and hours and hours at a time, just in your own space. The desert section of the PCT is about 700 miles long and is quite unique. One minute you're in the desert area of sand, cactus, manzanita bushes, and the next you're up in the scented pine forests.
Well, it's day 11. Gone just over 220 miles. We're into some different terrain now. It's pretty dry and hot. We just crossed a river, which was nice. Nice to cool down and soak the shirt. You can see the terrain here is pretty dry. It's going to be this way for a little while.
Because the terrain is so varied, it also becomes an emotional roller coaster. One minute you're in the desert and you're hot and thirsty and there's dry stretches and you long for the mountains, but you know that in order to get up there it's going to be a long climb. And by the time you get up to the mountains, it's cold again, and and you're scraping ice off the inside of your tent before you can even get going in the morning. By the end of day 15, I was only a few short miles from Big Bear, where there would be another resupply and another chance for a much-needed break. Even though it was only a few days since the last one, a break is always nice.